so today I'm coming to you with Star Wars Rebellion unboxing. This was just released today, and this is a 2-player, well it says 2 to 4 player, but basically Empire versus Rebellion. So you can play it up to 4 players, but it's not like there's 4 different sides. And it's basically a board game, a large-scale board game similar to Battle of Five Armies or War of the Ring. And I haven't played it yet, haven't read the rules yet. I just picked it up. And we're excited though because we've been kind of waiting for a really good game like this. So when we open it up, the first thing we've got is our Fantasy Flight winter catalog. We've got a learn to play guide, a rules reference guide, as is the standard for most Fantasy Flight games. They're learn to play what you read first. Then when you have specific questions, you look them up in the rules reference guide, which is typically sorted alphabetically, and it's kind of like a dictionary for rules, and kind of like the first version of an FAQ. We've got these tiles here, which is, we've got one for the Rebel Alliance, and then we've got another one for the Galactic Empire. They're in this bag here. We've got a lot of cardboard here. Now we have different commanders and people available to you here. So we've got like people like Boba Fett, General Veers, everybody from the original trilogy. It's seems to be exclusively original trilogy, nothing prequels or Force Awakens in this game. We've got a lot of various damage tokens and markers and just all kinds of different tokens there. I'm not exactly sure what all of those do. And now this looks like, this is the game board. We're going to look at that here in a minute. Look at this. Look at this bag of miniatures. This is insane. There are a ton of miniatures in here, and we're going to pull those out in just a moment. Alright, so we've got some stands, typical Fantasy Flight stands. We've got some dice, because what would a game be without some dice? We've got a lot of cards here. We're going to look at those, and we've got some of the smaller cards. Now these appear to be in the standard, mini American standard format. So for the smaller cards, the same size we see for damage decks, and X-Wing and Armada, upgrade cards, and things like that. So we've got all of those, and that is everything in the box. So let me look at this game board here, because it looks pretty big in the videos and the previews I've seen, but nothing shows you better than actually having it in person, because it looks like this will be one of the largest game boards for a board game I have ever played. Okay, let's start this. That's a lot of miniatures. Wow. Okay, it looks like there's 2 game boards in here. Alright, so we have, and they're halves, 2 halves of the game board. So this is already a big game board, but this is only half of it. So, goodness, I don't even know if I can get the whole thing in the shot. We'll try. And this is the other half. Wow, this thing, it's like 4 feet, maybe 5 feet. Probably about 4 feet long. It looks like this is 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4. All right, so it's a 4 by 2. Yeah, assuming that these are 12 inches by 12 inches. So you have Coruscant here, and you have all these different. This is kind of like the half of the galaxy map. So it's wow, it's huge. I mean, 4 by 2. That's bigger than an X-Wing mat. All right. Well, technically it's slightly less surface area, but it's certainly wider than an X-Wing mat, which is 3 by 3. So really nice, and it's good too, especially if you're going to be having all of these miniatures. Now let's pull these miniatures out. I'm going to put them on top here so we can kind of space them out. We've got, and this is exciting. This is really exciting because these look actually better. Like these TIE fighters, they're very similar to the TIE fighters in Armada, but there's a lot more detail. I don't know if you can see, like on the inside of the wings, you have detailing there as well, whereas you don't in Armada. So also there's no bending, so they're slightly larger. We've got AT-ATs. All right. Okay, let's just dump it all. Let's dump it all out. This is we just knocked over stuff. Alright, we got Star Destroyers, we got Super Star... There's two Super Star Destroyers? Two executors? I would say executors. Look at all these Death Stars. Well, how many Death Stars do we got? We got a lot of Death Stars. And this, is this part of a Death Star? How does this work? I am probably going to have to figure out how to put some of this stuff together. We've got, so the Star Destroyers, this is probably an ISD, and they're in pieces, so you have to, some assembly required with some of these. That's okay, we've got a lot of Star Destroyers over here. Look at these things. Alright, Star Destroyer, Star Destroyer, Star Destroyer. Oh, the ATST, or as I like to call them, the Chicken Walker. We'll put the Rebels on this side. Gazantes. Surprised Gazantes made it into here. They're like the only thing in here that wasn't really in the original trilogy. Even though they were around during that time frame. Alright, wow, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. I feel like this is like a game of Risk. We've got Stormtroopers with the little triangular bases. I wonder if you could, I wonder if these actual people, the scale of these Stormtroopers is, now they're too big for X-Wing. And I was going to say, I wonder if they're in the right scale for that. We've got our ion cannons over here, Gazantes. So we've got some Mon Calamari cruisers. And I mean, the detail on these is not as good as like Armada or X-Wing. As a matter of fact, the detail on these is a little bit weaker than I typically expect from Fantasy Flight. It's not bad. It's certainly not bad. It's just a little bit less than you normally expect. Now the people actually are really fantastic. It's just the bigger ships that don't have as much detail as you would have expected. It's still a good amount of detail. It's definitely recognizable. Like for example, look at this Corvette. Now if you've ever played X-Wing or Armada and you've seen, you know, the type of stuff that they'll do for an equally smaller ship, or a ship about that size, they usually do a lot more. Now granted, a lot of that is because they are painted as well, and these aren't painted. I imagine some people will want to go ahead and paint all of these. I am not going to do that, but at least not anytime soon. I'd have to get really bored because there's a lot of stuff, and I still have some Imperial Assault stuff I haven't painted yet. So I still have a lot of painting to do. But man, there's a lot. We got Y-Wings too. It's just a shame there's no A-Wings or B-Wings here, because B-Wing is my favorite ship. Yeah. So more detail than Armada, but much less than X-Wing. At least for the squadrons, for the small ships. Now we do finally have a Snowspeeder. This is our first chance of getting an AT-AT and a Snowspeeder in a Fantasy Flight miniatures game. Although this is not a miniatures game, this is a board game. But we've got a couple. So definitely, it seems like the Rebels do not have as many ships as the Empire does. Especially considering the Empire has two whole, you know, Super Star Destroyers. That's wild. And how many Death Stars do we have? I bet you that they go through phases. I bet you that's something like that. Because otherwise you would have enough to make 1, 2, 3. Yeah, who's going to make 3 Death Stars? Maybe this goes right. I don't know how this goes together. I'm guessing that goes in there. And this goes in the bottom. That just doesn't seem, it doesn't click in. Oh, there it goes. Okay, we got it. We got it. So there's 3 Death Stars. That's surprising. I'm guessing you can probably have a cap of 2, but then while it's being constructed it looks like this. Maybe. I don't know if, I would guess that this isn't necessarily meant to be just strictly the Return of the Jedi Death Star. It's necessary, probably any Death Star that's still under construction. But these are nice. Reminds me of, if you've ever played Twilight Imperium, you have a ship that's very much like the Death Star in that, and that's what these are. Probably going to be similar power level, maybe even more so. But alright, so I think we've kind of seen just about every model. So have you seen the Gazanti yet? Yeah, Gazanti there. We got a lot of Gazantis, a couple of Rebel transports. A couple of Moncals, these ion cannons. We've got shield generators. A lot of miniatures. A lot of miniatures. And there's still more assembly required. I'll probably do the rest of this later. Let's look at some of the cards. Let's see what kind of cards we've got. So we've got, these cards will have a 3, a 2, and a 1 on the back of them. And they seem to have a lot of the same artwork that we've seen in a lot of other games. You're going to see a lot of reused artwork, but it's good artwork, so that's fine. And some things that we see in here, maybe we haven't seen yet, maybe we will see in the future. So we've got that. We've got cards with an Imperial back. And no, this isn't going to be a review of the game. Like I said, I haven't played it yet. But if you are a subscriber, you'll know whenever I do put up a review, or maybe even a little gameplay demo. Who knows? And we've got some Rebel cards. So we've got Imperial cards, Rebel cards, and then these 1, 2, and 3 cards. I'm assuming they happen at specific times. And we got our little cards. Now our little cards, we have some cards that have the Millennium Falcon back, some cards that have a TIE Fighter back, and some cards that have Probe Droid. Now I believe these are meant to represent every system, and this is kind of how the Imperial player tries to find the Rebel base. And then we've got these cards that have X-Wings and then ATs. So, or AT-ATs. So, space and ground cards. It looks apparently they look like space and ground cards. So we've got a lot of artwork on these cards, a lot of components. It's a very big box. This is about the same size box as the Armada core set, and there is just a lot here, a lot to read through. So this has been an unboxing and look at Rebellion. Just came out today from Fantasy Flight Games. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. And if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe and leave comments and all that good stuff. And I really appreciate it. Have a great day.